music plays such an important role. I would say it's almost a character in his films, and incredible to see how he is one of those directors who seems to have every frame of the film in his head, but also musically in his head. I mean, he literally, you have to quite often rehearse with the music track that he's going to eventually put in the film, so that you rhythmically are doing exactly what he wants to have happen, both in terms of on camera, but then in cuts, because he knows exactly what's going to happen musically. So sometimes he'll give you a cassette of, okay, so this is the music that's playing in this scene, so I just want you to have that rhythm in your head. So it's a very inspiring and unique way of working. Well, Baby Driver is about a group of criminals who rob banks, and the way in which it's done is that it's all syncopated in the rhythm of the music that the Baby Driver, Ansel Elgort, is playing in his ears, because he has tinnitus from an earlier accident in his life, and so he uses that to drown out this ringing in his ears. And so all of the bank robberies and much of the film is literally driven by the music. And so, as I say, the choreography is kind of remarkable, how Edgar and his team have managed to make that work, not only in terms of what the human characters do, but also how that car is so syncopated to the music that's playing. Well, Baby, I think, is a really sympathetic character, and a character that an audience is going to really understand and care for. He comes from a pretty difficult past. He's got this tinnitus, which he seemingly goes through life kind of throwing it off his back. He never really seems daunted by it, but he does have some difficulties, and he also supports his foster father, who happens to be deaf, and that's a really beautiful relationship. I think he's one of the finer young actors who is emerging in such a really significant way, and I think this is a wonderful part for him, because the demands of this role are he doesn't have an enormous amount of dialogue. You know, it is a role that's built in many ways through music and observation and silence. But when he does talk, there's one very funny sequence where he's accused of not being able to hear the instructions that I'm giving to the whole team, because he's got his headphones in always. And then he repeats exactly what I say word for word, and it's a kind of brilliant sequence. What this movie sort of, when I watched it, it was like, oh, it's like this big action car chase, and yet it also has this kind of really affecting personal story, and it's satisfying in the sort of, oh, we went on a big ride, you know, at an amusement park, but it's also satisfying emotionally. So it's kind of unusual for a film of this genre to, I think, manage to achieve all of that.
So did you like that video? Well, I've some interesting movie extras facts for you. Matte paintings were extremely popular before the CGI era. These are actual projections or paintings placed behind foreground objects to trick audiences into believing the actors were in a different location. Examples include the Statue of Liberty jutting out from the sand in Planet of the Apes from 1968, and the Emerald City awaiting Dorothy at the end of the Yellow Brick Road in The Wizard of Oz from 1939. Subscribe to our channel and check the notification bell to always be up to date with all the latest releases.